Getting old's not so bad. Daughter keeps me fed, and my working days are done.
Welcome, dear viewers, to CouchWarrior TV on YouTube. I am the CouchWarrior, and you're watching Arcana, a Skyrim Let's Play. Welcome, brothers and sisters, to Chapter 9, Part 6.
I got in a shipment of
We've just arrived in Solitude, and we have now entered the Winking Skeever,
working with the guild,
and we are talking to our fence here in Solitude, Gulamai.
Respect.
We're going to look and see what we can sell off, generate a little cash to help finance our operation.
There's no need to smuggle things quietly anymore. With the influence we have in Solitude, I can march it right out the front door.
All right. We like fences because we can sell them stolen items. Granted, there aren't many stolen items left in our inventory, but that's okay. There are still items here that we can sell to generate some cash. Mainly, I think, under miscellaneous. We have quite a few gems. Certainly don't need a bowl. Taking out the trash. So I like to use gems to generate septums. Generally, I will keep the flawless ones, but after a while, you end up with a ton of, garnets and amethyst and gems of lower quality that are still worth a pretty penny, and they don't weigh much. So you can carry a lot of them and convert them into cash very quickly, and then, as you are probably aware, septums don't weigh anything. So anytime I can convert something of weight to a septum, that is good. So we will sell just as many as we need to clean him out. And
just remember me if you get your hands on anything else.
Was a worthwhile transaction.
Feel free to make requests.
Now that we're inside the Winking
Hello,
Skeever,
I'm Gisley, but you can just call me Eric.
We can let our followers, we can dismiss them in relaxed mode, so they will stay here until we need to pull them back together.
I'll show you to your room. Right this way.
We will get a room.
Papa says I won't see Rogvir anymore, but he wouldn't tell me why not.
So our last episode was really combat focused.
You're someone who can get things done. I like that.
This episode will be the antithesis of Part 5. It's going to be probably no combat. It's just gonna be all about wrapping up some side quests, selling off some stuff. Once we get that stuff out of the way, then our objective is to start doing surveillance so that we can effectively carry out our next mission, which is to eliminate Vittoria Vici. So we're going to get a little bit of shut-eye here. But we're not going to sleep too long. We want to actually start doing some of our errands while it's dark out, under the cover of darkness, after the shops have closed. Remember, we are the Dragonborn. We have determined that we are being hunted by the Thalmor. So kind of keeping things on the down low is a good idea for us. So Fleet is going to make his initial runs out into the city after dark. His first objective is really to go to the Bardos College.
Sure.
So we'll do that under the cover of darkness. But first we will request the Dragonborn comes. I want to thank you all for joining me again for this installment of our adventure. The continuing adventures of Fleet Featherstone, Master Assassin, Man About Town. Now, I don't see any of our followers in here. That's kind of interesting. So I'm not sure where they would be, but when we need them, we'll summon them. It is late. I'm sure they've all gotten rooms by now and gone to bed. So all the better. We want to go out solo. So we will leave them here. Whoa! Vampire attack. Let's observe. I'm not sure I need to get involved in this or not. We certainly don't want to draw attention to ourselves. But just in case...
We're routed! I hope there aren't any cans.
That old man shouldn't have gotten in a fight.
If you're interested, traveler. These vampire...
We will definitely take the gold
become
and the
a real
vampire
menace.
dust. Okay.
Disrespect the law and you disrespect me.
I don't plan on disrespecting anybody quite yet. One of the things that I should mention about the mod that I've installed here that kind of makes Solitude, it remakes Solitude as a grander city. One of the unfortunate side effects of that mod is that it places buildings and other structures over the top of some of the standard features of Solitude, effectively cutting off some walkways. It cuts off the rear entrance into the city. Stuff like that. Those are things that you'll need to be aware of if you're going to use the mod. And it's particularly going to play into our next segment, Eliminating Vittoria Vici, because it is going to affect our routes out of town.
College.
So that'll make our surveillance all the more important. I'm looking to apply to the college.
Always a pleasure to meet a prospective bard. You should be aware that many apply, but we accept very few people.
You've been working on your poem.
When possible, we ask applicants to perform tasks the college needs completed.
We study the
In
heroes
this
of the past
case,
so we
I
can have
do
better
have a
understanding
task
of
befitting an aspiring bard.
What do you need me to do?
Elisif has forbidden the burning of King Olaf, a festival put on by the Bardos College. We need to change her mind. To convince her, I want to read King Olaf's verse, a part of the Poetic Edda, the living history of Skyrim.
King Olaf's
Unfortunately,
verse,
the verse was lost
which
long
we
ago.
happen to have in our book bag. And that's where I come in?
Yes. According to Giraud, our history's keeper, the portion of the Edda dealing with King Olaf might still exist in the dead man's respite. I need you to retrieve the poem.
This, brothers and sisters, is our way of sort of bribing our way into their library. I've been to the tomb. I have
Tremendous.
Olaf's verse.
I have to admit, I didn't fully believe it still existed. Now, let's take a look at this. Oh no! Well, this won't do at all. Look, the copy is incomplete. It's aged to the point that parts are unreadable.
Well, it's redacted.
Oh.
What does that mean?
It means I can't read it to the court. Without the verse, I won't be able to convince Elisif of the importance of the burning of King Olaf festival. If she isn't convinced of the festival's importance, then she won't reverse her decision to stop the effigy burning. It means that the burning of King Olaf, which the Bardos College has held for time immemorial, won't be happening.
Can't we just make up the missing parts?
Make it up? That doesn't seem appropriate. I suppose I could copy his style based on
Let's
what
make
he
it
brought
up,
me,
man.
but I have no idea what happened in between these verses.
Brothers and sisters, we are problem solvers. We can do this.
Oh,
What's the
Olaf,
first verse?
my subjugator, the one-eyed betrayer, death-dealing demon and dragon-killing king, your legend is lies, lurid, and false. Your cunning capture of Numenex, a con for the ages. King Olaf was Olaf One-Eye? He famously captured the dragon Numenex and took him to Dragon's Reach. What did we say really happened?
Look at this. We have a persuade option. Olaf was Numenex, a dragon in human form.
I find that highly unlikely.
Awesome.
The court will love it. I'm writing it in.
Okay, what's next?
Olaf grabbed power by promise and threat. From Falkreath to Winterhold, they fell to their knees. But Solitude stood strong, Skyrim's truest protectors. Olaf's vengeance was instant, inspired, and wicked. Strange. According to history, Solitude attacked Winterhold, but Asgeir seemed to be saying Olaf reacted. What do we say happened?
Olaf sacked it in dragon
The
form.
most exciting answer.
Oh no!
Most likely. I'll write it
I fat-fingered my selection and I left
It has
probably a
few
level
final
in speech
lines,
on the
but that's
table.
all we needed to add.
That
I need
sucks.
to head to court immediately and present this. You should come.
All right, I'll meet you there.
I do hope the court likes the verse. I think we've done an excellent job of recreating it.
Oh, they'll like it. Now let's look around a little bit. I'm just going to check and see if there are any books here that we don't already have in our library. And Fleet's motivation here is the Bardos College is probably one of the few locations in Skyrim, besides maybe the Mage College, that has the largest concentration of books. So he's really conflicted about a lot of things, especially things having to do with Sithis and the Daedra and the creation myth and all those kinds of things. And so he's always looking for information for research he can do on these topics. So he would naturally be drawn to places of learning for this reason. Wow, looks like they need a librarian. On Oblivion. Well, Oblivion is the realm of the Daedra. So I think we're going to go ahead and grab this one. Yeah. Yeah, this looks like a book that Fleet would probably feel was worth keeping. So we will do that. What else? What else? We know this book. And let's see. That is a book we aren't going to take because that book actually needs to be available to the general public if we are to get any business. So it does us no good to confiscate it. Oh boy. Not too much here that I'm thrilled with. They need some kind of a Dewey Decimal System. For those of you who are watching this video and, I don't know, probably over the age of, say, 28 to 30, you know what I'm talking about when I say Dewey Decimal System? I imagine school libraries still have card catalogs, right? I don't know. All right. Well, there are a few more books laying around here, but I'm thinking we're not going to find too much more that's going to be useful to us here. There is definitely going to come a point when Fleet, drawn simply by his curiosity, is going to end up spending probably a lot more time at the Mage College.
Once was a
it's
hero
your
named
job
Ragnar
to
the
deliver
Red who came
these
riding
songs,
to
to
Whiterun from
excite the
a
crowd,
warring
draw them
stag.
in. They will love you for it.
Here's a few more. Madmen of the Reach, we have that one already. The Code of Malakath. That could be an interesting one. Malakath, of course, is a Daedric prince, although he has a much more interesting background than most of the Daedric princes, in that he was formerly, I believe, one of the original spirits and the right-hand man of Ariel, of Ariel's bow fame. Somehow he was corrupted and turned into a Daedra, into a Daedric prince. I don't know all the details on that, but I know that he was not a Daedra originally. So there was some kind of crazy transformation there. Okay, now, this lady here,
I'm Dean of Loot at the
Inga
Bardos
Six
College,
Fingers.
and no, I don't give private lessons.
I found Finn's loot.
What? You did?
What?
Oh, sweet divines, you did.
We did.
There is no way I can pay you what this loot is worth. But
What are
I can
those
teach
levels?
you a few tricks I've learned over the years.
Okay, I highly recommend that you find Finn's loot. We've just acquired a level in 5 different skills. I think they're mostly thieving related.
Glad that distraction's
I kind of missed a
over.
couple there. But Finn's loot. Look it up on the Elder Scrolls wiki. That'll tell you what you get for it and where to find it and all that good stuff. Because I can't remember where we found it. We've had it for a long time, so. Okay, this clown.
Hello, yes. I'm the Dean of History and scribe work when I can find some quiet time.
Nah.
I suppose I should return to my papers.
Yeah. You go back to sleep. All right, I think we've accomplished all that we can here in the Bardos College, or all that I have the patience to. Our next objective is we need to head to the Blue Palace, and we're going to meet Viermo there and kind of finish out this King Olaf thing, rather than leaving it hanging. But if we are going to that location, if we're going to the palace, it's a very public place. It is not appropriate for us to go there in our current garb, not to mention the fact it is the seat of imperial power here in Skyrim, which means there is a reasonably good chance that there could be Thalmor about. So we are going to make sure we dress ourselves appropriately for the occasion. And since I have nothing on me, we are going to kind of go the ballsy method here. And we are going to steal straight from these guys and change right in their own rooms and walk right out the front door like we own the damn place. All right, so we've got some fine clothes here, some money, some boots and a hat. We should be good to go, right? Yeah. Let's do it. So we are going to change into these dandy boy clothes. We'll have to shed some of our usual garb here. I'm going to take the eye patch off too. We don't want to frighten anybody. Plus that would stand out like a sore thumb. Okay, we're going to have to make this convincing, we're going to lose the black gloves and just put on a regular pair of brown leather gloves. Hide some of our bandolier stuff, and we will not carry a weapon visible either. That'll make us look like kind of a rich civilian about town. So we're going to go to the Blue Palace. We're going to finish out this thing with Viermo. And then from there, we will conclude our errands and head back to the Winking Skeever, I think. Get some rest. And tomorrow... tomorrow... I'm stuck. Tomorrow, we will begin our surveillance for our Dark Brotherhood mission. And we will check out the scene of the wedding reception. So let's head up to the Blue Palace.
I found the bone. I've brought it to you, but still I am refused.
So I believe what we have to do is we meet Viermo here, and we go through his reading of this King Olaf the One-Eyes verses to the Jarl. Again, he is trying to convince her that she needs to reinstate some kind of ceremony where they burn the effigy of King Olaf the One-Eye. So he's trying to reinstate this tradition, and she's resistant. So he's trying to convince her that based on these ancient texts, that there is nothing false about this legend. But before we meet up with him, as I mentioned in the last episode, no, was it 2 episodes ago? Yeah, we're going to talk to the court wizard first and see what, if any, interesting illusion spells we might be able to acquire from her.
You would know it.
Yeah, well, I need something from you.
You wish to master the arcane arts?
Snarky wizard. I do wish to master the arcane arts, specifically illusion spells. Arrow to the knee. 5 magic damage to creatures and people. If the target is running, deals 25 bonus magic damage. That's weird. Okay, blur we already had. Bend the shadows we had. Clairvoyance, we have that, I believe. That's one of the vanilla spells. Courage. Dim vision. Target creature or humanoid become 80% blind for 15 seconds, making it harder for them to detect you. So that's temporary blindness. That's interesting. We'll take that. That combined with quiet casting could be actually quite interesting. So, let's see. Empathic Link. For 45 seconds, a target creature humanoid takes 125% of all damage. And healing the caster receives. Huh. Now that's cool. So I could cast that on one enemy and provoke another, and as they bash me, their buddy would get hurt. That's cool. I like that. That fits with our displacement idea really well, I think. Forked Tongue. Convince a nearby non-hostile. I don't know about that one. Frenzy, I think we have that. No, it's Fury that we have. Frenzy we don't have yet. Ghost Walk. Invisible for 10 seconds or until the invisibility is broken. The interesting thing about this is after the spell breaks, you're teleported back to where you started from. So it's, question is how far can you get in 10 seconds and how much can you do? That is interesting. Haywire. Now this one is going to affect automatons. Make some seize up. I'm not sure I'm going to take that one, at least not now. What I don't want to do is take too many. I'm not interested in taking too many. I'd like to take a few, kind of master those. What I find is that when it comes to spells, the more spells I have in my inventory, the worse off I am, because then I get sort of like spell paralysis, right? I can't figure out what to use, and pretty soon I don't use any of them. I'd rather have a few and work them really well into my combat style than have a whole bunch and never be able to decide which one to use. The other one that I took that I think is kind of interesting and fits this whole Figment style of magic that we're trying to define is one called Evil Twin. That is pretty cool because it allows me to actually create a replica of the target, and then that replica attacks the target. Now, it's got a duration on it, however, I think of 8 or 10 seconds, so I imagine that duration might go up a little bit depending on level. I'm not exactly sure, but we can experiment with that. That could be a great sort of distraction tactic, so we'll keep that one in our back pocket. Seduce. See no evil. Target creature humanoid will ignore crimes. That's interesting. Reveals the target's attitude toward you. I don't know how useful that one is. Generally, I can sense what their attitude is toward me, right? The sword is drawn or it's not drawn. I don't know. The game mechanic seems maybe a little bit too black and white for that one to be as useful as it might sound. I don't know. Okay, looking around at a few other ones to see if there might be some utility in some of these alteration spells, but I think I've got everything I need for now. As I said, small sampling,
The Jarl is
quality
not
versus
disturbed with
quantity.
common affairs at court. You direct those concerns to me.
Be quick.
All right.
I have little patience for mundane concerns.
Feel free to return to me with questions. The Blue Palace is an open forum.
Yeah. They're super arrogant on the one hand, and they treat you with disdain, and then on the other hand, they tell you that the Blue Palace is always open, and you should come back with questions, and... All right, so we need to find our pal Viermo here. Let's get him marked. Oh, he's right in here. Excellent. Let's go talk to him and kick off this reading. Where are my spell books I just purchased? All right, excellent. Have a whole bunch of new things to try. Now the trick is to work them into our rotation. All right, let's do this.
The court likes the verse. I think we've done an excellent job of recreating it.
Are we ready?
I think my voice is ready. I hope we've done this well.
All right. That's Elisif. She is the Jarl, of course. I hope that she is prepared to receive our golden words. We'll just hang back here and observe.
Ah, Viarmo. I assume you are here to petition for the reinstatement of the burning of King Olaf festival.
I am, Jarl. I wish to present King Olaf's verse from the Poetic Edda, recovered this very day from the Bard's tomb.
You mentioned something that would convince us the festival should take place, but I didn't expect King Olaf's lost verse. Please proceed.
O Olaf, our subjugator, the one-eyed betrayer, death-dealing demon and dragon-killing king, your legend is lies, lurid, and false. Your cunning capture of Numenek's a con for the ages. No shouting match between dragon and man, no fire or fury did this battle entail. Olaf struck a deal to make himself king. Numenek's let go, though none tell that tale. Olaf grabbed power by promise and threat. From Falkreath to Winterhold, they fell to their knees. But Solitude stood strong, Skyrim's truest protectors. Olaf's vengeance was instant, inspired, and wicked. Olaf gave orders, Winterhold disguises, an attack on Solitude, total destruction to follow. His men dressed up and then went out to fight, but they reversed Olaf's orders, much to Winterhold's sorrow. So ends the story of Olaf the liar, a thief and a scoundrel. We of Solitude commit to the fire. In Solitude, bards train for their service. They also gather each year and burn a king who deserves it.
You have proven your point, Viarmo. The festival is truly a celebration of solitude and a condemnation of false kings.
I thank you, and the college thanks you, Jarl.
Furthermore, I believe that such a fine poem deserves some payment of patronage. The college will be moderately rewarded.
Oh, thank you yet again. I will make sure our applicant, who was instrumental in recovering the poem, will be well rewarded. Unbelievable! You have done us a great service.
There we go, we did it.
I can't begin to thank you enough.
Does that mean I'm a bard now?
Soon. These things must be done properly. You will be inducted as part of the festival itself. I need you to go speak to Yorn. He was preparing the effigy of King Olaf. Tell him to finish the preparations. The festival is back on!
All right. Speak to Yorn to tell him the festival is back on. I think we'll speak to Yorn tomorrow. For now, we are tired. Up all night, doing research, writing poetry. So that does it. We are very nearly a bard. As I mentioned in a previous episode, I don't see Fleet as being the type to sing or play an instrument, but I can definitely see him. He's already a writer. We know that about him. And a fairly accomplished one at that, having written his doctrines and his journal entries and his letters. It stands to reason that writing poetry, perhaps dark poetry, might be a pastime that would be befitting of Cimmerian. And that, my friends, brings us to the end of another episode. It is 6 a.m., and it's time for us to get some sleep. I want to thank you for taking the journey with me. And until next time, may all that you do be swift, quiet, and deadly. And to all Skyrim assassins, I salute you. Silence is our battle cry.